The tournament rolls on inside Studio B on the campus of Ball State University. Welcome to our 8th episode of TourneyWatch. With Jaron Matheny, I'm Jack Kaiser. We're on to Elite 8 action, and if you wanted chalk, you're in for a treat. The top 8 overall seeds remain after asserting their dominance in the Sweet 16, Jaron.
We saw 4 really good games yesterday, but you're right, Jack. The chalk is the one that won out. Ultimately, the 1 and 2 seeds, which were the matchups we wanted anyway, are the teams in the Elite 8.
Well, let's waste no time and get to the highlights from yesterday's game, starting with Notre Dame and Texas A&M. First quarter, Arike Ogunbowale, the hero from last year, finds Brianna Turner for the easy 2. Other end, Kennedy Carter rainbows it in. What a shot from the sophomore. 1-point game. Fourth quarter, tied at 67. What a game. What a finish from Jackie Young. Tied again at 69, and who else but Ogunbowale hits a big 3. Flash forward to the defensive end for the Irish. Ogunbowale, a swipe, a run out, and a finish to put the Irish up by 5. What a play from Ogunbowale. Irish survive by 7.
South Carolina and Baylor underneath. We'll see Kalani Brown dish off to Dee Richards for 2. Kalani Brown using the assist that time. Other end in the third quarter, Lauren Cox running in transition for the layup, and then it's Chloe Jackson knocking down the dagger. Baylor advances to the Elite 8 once again.
Stanford and Missouri State. We start in the second quarter. Cardinal up 11. The Bears trying to make a run. Jasmine Franklin's swipe, run out lay-in, single-digit game. Now just a 5-point game. 45 seconds left. Layup doesn't go. Stanford corrals the rebound, and they are fouled. The Cardinal seal it at the line. So close from Missouri State. The Cinderella story ends early. Cardinal to the Elite 8.
Hawkeyes and Wolfpack early on. Megan Gustafson out to Mackenzie Meyer for 3. Hawkeyes did not look back from there. Third quarter, it's Gustafson with the scoop inside. Iowa up 10. And then in the fourth, we'll see Megan Gustafson once again find her way to put the ball in the bucket. Hawkeyes to the Elite 8 for the first time since '93, and all the happiness is shared with one of their younger fans.
Do you know where we're going?
No.
We're going to North Carolina. Wait, you're not in the camera. Well, I got tickets. Let's go. Are you gonna cry?
Yay!
Oh my gosh. What do you say? Go. Oh no, I'm gonna say go Hawks.
Such a sweet surprise, and Jack's school may have to wait just a little bit longer as Elite 8 tickets have been purchased in Greensboro.
Yeah, she's really looking forward to seeing the Hawkeyes play in Greensboro against Baylor. Jaron, that's one heck of a game between the top overall seed and an Iowa squad that boasts Megan Gustafson, the nation's leading scorer and potentially the player of the year.
It's Gustafson versus Kalani Brown. It's the matchup to watch in this game. Underneath, which big gets it done? That'll be the telltale story of this game.
In Chicago, Notre Dame and Stanford. Winner goes to the Final Four. Notre Dame trying to defend its title. Stanford looking to make its 14th Final Four appearance, Jaron. It hasn't been too long since these two met in the postseason just a couple of years ago. Stanford fell to the Irish, looking for some revenge this year.
And Notre Dame got their first test of the tournament in that game against Texas A&M. Look for the game to be even closer against Stanford. Ogunbowale, though, she's been the story for the Irish all year. This year and last year, another opportunity to take Notre Dame to the Final Four.
ESPN play-by-play Adam Amin joins us once again. Adam, you're our first repeat guest, so thanks for your time. You've been with UConn a lot this tournament. From what you've seen from the Huskies so far, why can they get back to the national title game, which they haven't been able to do the last 2 years?
Right now, I think it's the play of Napheesa Collier. She is playing at an incredible level right now, probably the best of her career. Is putting up numbers that I don't think a lot of people would realize are comparable to what Brianna Stewart did in her UConn career. Certainly considered to be, one of maybe the 5 best UConn Huskies of all time in a lot of people's estimations. So that's high praise for Napheesa Collier, but she does it in a very, I don't want to call it unspectacular because it is pretty spectacular, especially considering the efficiency and the numbers, but in a very quiet, almost quiet way. I don't know, it's not flashy. It's just full of substance. I think that's her game. And she's been doing that ever since the start of the American Conference Tournament, really before that too. But in particular without Katie Lou Samuelson for a good chunk of time before the NCAA tournament. And now that Samuelson's back, Collier seems to have elevated her play now that she has her senior running mate with her right now. So I think those two players can carry UConn to a national championship. I think Crystal Dangerfield is very important. We saw what her absence for a key 4-minute stretch did in the second round against Buffalo, where they got back into the game. So obviously those three upperclassmen are going to be very important, but they're all good enough to help lead this team to a national title.
Louisville seems to be firing on all cylinders right now. They have a pretty good guard themselves in Asia Durr. What about Louisville has been so challenging for opponents to handle?
I think it's the elevation of the players around Asia Durr and the combination of that and her ability to distribute the ball. She has a career high in assists this year as well. I don't think a lot of people have realized that. First time in her career, over 100 assists. And her teammates couldn't speak highly enough about her yesterday. They were so impressed by, her humility, the type of person and teammate she is, but how intelligent of a basketball player she is to recognize when opposition is going to send a second defender over, when they're sometimes sending a third defender over, and what that does to the rest of the floor, and how she can kind of read that maybe almost a step or two ahead of what some other players at that position might be able to do. And certainly not players at her level. She's one of the elite of the elite. So the combination of her passing ability, her IQ, and obviously the incredible offensive career and season that she's had in particular this year, I think that combination has been really difficult for opponents to try and defend, not only her, but the rest of her teammates who've elevated as well.
Adam, we'll leave you with this. You're a pretty busy guy this time of year. We asked Maria Taylor this, but as a play-by-play man during the NCAA tournament, what's your day-to-day process like when the games are going on?
I mean, there's always a screen on in front of me. I know that's probably an epidemic for most of us at this point, but there's always a screen on. There's always a game on. There's usually an article or two up on a laptop or a phone or an iPad somewhere. And there's usually some file open on my laptop that has one of the teams that we're about to cover on it. So it's a lot of big picture reading. It's a lot of kind of macro understanding of what's happening and how each region affects each other region. Obviously, we're in the Albany region. We're going to keep an eye on the Chicago region because the winner of that region is going to square off in the semifinals with the winner of this one. So trying to keep as big of a macro perspective on everything as possible, while also knowing that every day you have to dive deeper and deeper into the micro of all the teams that you're happening to cover that weekend.
ESPN's Adam Amin, we really appreciate you joining us again, and have fun in Tampa.
Thanks a lot, Jack. Appreciate it.
And with the Elite Eight set, every team and every player has their own way of staying loose, not only during the game, but also during media day. For Louisville's Asia Durr, though, it's all about letting the jokes fly.
Okay, I have another joke. Okay, guys, this is day 2, all right? Are y'all ready? Y'all don't seem excited.
They don't seem,
all right,
they don't seem
hey.
excited.
What do you call a flying bread? A plain bagel.
Come on, guys, that was funny. Come on, give her one. That was amazing.
Hey, you got to lighten the mood a little bit when you're playing in the highest pressure part of the season.
You just got to try to keep things loose and try to make sure you're as much like the regular season as you are in the postseason.
Well, the last time Louisville and UConn played, they had a lot of eyes watching at the KFC Yum Center. It was the largest crowd in women's basketball history. Over 17,000 fans packed Louisville to watch two of the nation's top teams play, and here they are again with their seasons on the line. Here are the numbers through 3 tournament games for the Huskies and Cardinals. The offense for UConn has been outstanding, averaging nearly 90 points per game and shooting over 50% from the floor, while the defense for Louisville has been equally impressive, holding opponents to 43 points per game. Something has to give today between these fantastic teams.
UConn superfan Angel Earl joins us on TourneyWatch. Angel, thank you so much for coming on the show.
You are so very welcome.
So when and why did you become a UConn fan?
Well, back in 2011, I started taking care of the elderly. I am a caregiver, and believe it or not, the UConn women's fan base is mostly elderly people. There are so many, it's incredible. So I started watching in 2011, and I was like, pretty good. I like this. So then I took on a client in 2014, and she's actually went to UConn. And she played basketball back when basketball wasn't even basketball at UConn. She said, nobody came to see my games. So then I started making the outfits. I asked her, I said, do you want to go to the games? She said, yes. So we started buying season tickets. And we went every single season up until she passed away. I just lost her in December. And I finished out the season without her. But she's here, in my heart. And I know she's watching over me. She always said I needed to be on TV with my outfits. And I'm like, I don't need to be on TV. So, this is all her doing. It's got to be, because I've worn the outfits for 5 years. And now all of a sudden, everybody wants interviews. I'm like, what is this? And it's Lou working up in heaven. She always believed I needed to be recognized for my outfits.
That's very, very neat. So talk a little about your favorite outfit that you've ever worn.
My favorite, I can't say that I have one favorite. I love the pink one that I wore for Play for K because it's nice and bright. It's colorful. I love the green one that I made for St. Patrick's Day. Not that everybody else likes it because they think Notre Dame when they see the green. And I love the ones where I actually put the names of the team members on them because there's so much more love and care that went into those.
And there have been so many great players to come through UConn. Who's your all-time favorite and why?
Actually, I can't say that I have an all-time favorite, one only favorite. I love them all as if they were my kids. And, you don't have a favorite child. So I love them all. And they are a great group of women or girls. And every year, I have new kids.
You talked a little bit about it in the first question, but what makes the UConn program so special to the community?
It gives the elderly something to look forward to. And the elderly need something to look forward to so that they can keep on living, not just be alive, but live. And these UConn games, they bring the life into the elderly community.
UConn's #1 fan, Angel Earl. Angel, thanks for the time and enjoy watching the Huskies.
Oh, thank you so much.
What a heartwarming story from Angel Earl. Let's move to Portland, Mississippi State and Oregon, the regional final. Ducks shooting 34.7% from three-point range in the tournament. Earlier this season, the Ducks beat the then #4 Mississippi State Bulldogs 82-74 in Eugene. Anriel Howard and Sabrina Ionescu battled in that one, and we will see if history repeats itself or if the Bulldogs are going back to the Final Four. One thing is for sure, though, Tiara McCowan is not going to be slowed down in this one.
I mean, it's going to be huge. That's their key player. That's their best player. That's one of the best players in the country. And so she didn't have her best game against us at our place. And credit to Ruthie and to our team. But we know that tomorrow she's not going to let that happen again, especially with a Final Four on the line. And so we're going to have to be able to learn and adjust and play better than we did down at our place.
ESPN sideline reporter Brooke Weisbrod now joins us from Portland. Brooke, thanks for coming on the show. Let's start with Friday. Oregon, a 63-53 win over South Dakota State. But what impressed you most about the Ducks in that game?
I think the way they started the game. Granted, they do have a terrific home advantage here, and this place was rocking last night. So I think they kind of soaked up that energy, but. Give a lot of credit to the preparation that they had. And Sabrina Ionescu is one of the best women's basketball players, we've ever seen. She's breaking history, 11 assists last night. She got her teammates involved really early. And I think to me, that's what made the difference because their inside game was very strong. Satu Sabali, Ruthie Hebert, both end up 24 points or 24 and 17, and then a combined 7 blocks. So they were getting it done, getting the scoring done on the inside. 40 paint points for Oregon. That was huge. But, I think you had a great combination of the stars last night for Oregon. WNBA talent came through.
Mississippi State, a pretty dominant win as well against Arizona State on Friday night. But what has been most impressive about this year's team?
Wow. Well, I mean, we know that, the stars have really shown up this year, right? I mean, Tiara McCowan breaking the rebounding record last night, passing Sylvia Fowles, Andrea Howard doing what she does best, which is pretty much everything on the floor. She's kind of a 1 through 5 type player, but now you have other players on the team really stepping up. Bree Scott has become a counted upon scorer for them. And then you've got Jasmine Holmes, who handled the point guard position incredibly well last night. Seven assists, 0 turnovers. So they understand ball management. This is a team that's basically scoring in the 90s in the tournament. And meanwhile, teams can't score against them. You have 6'7" Tiara McCowan. You got her to deal with. You have Andrea Howard, who can score from any position on the floor. Jasmine Holmes, who's taking care of the basketball. Jordan Danbury, who can score double digits. So it's really not just 2 star players, but they're very driven this year. I mean, you can only imagine, having been so close to cutting down the nets at the end of this season, what that would do to you. How much at night that would keep you up. I mean, if I'm playing for Mississippi State, it's like I feel like I haven't gotten sleep in 2 years. So I'm just ready to do this and get to the Final Four if I'm them.
All right, Brooke, we'll end things with this. Portland Regional finale tonight. Who do you have winning and why?
Well, today we got practices, so I'm going to get a better feel for what's going on out here. But I'll tell you what, Mississippi State, they're practicing right now. They're looking sharp. Oregon will be here after that. Tomorrow we have an 11 a.m. Pacific tip, so it's an early day. And I would think the Oregon fans are going to show up, so they're going to have the contingency here. I'm going to have to pick Mississippi State. Oregon fans are not going to like that very much, but I think it's their year to finish business, and they do get to the Final Four. I have Baylor as my national champion, but I think Mississippi State escapes Portland. Bulldogs advance to the Final Four.
ESPN sideline reporter Brooke Weisbrod. Thanks for joining, Brooke.
Thank you.
Our 4 players to watch in today's games. Crystal Dangerfield coming off a 15-point second-half performance against UCLA, willing her team to victory in a very tough game against the Bruins. Asia Durr, she's been phenomenal, leading the team in scoring and assists throughout the tournament. Andrea Howard already has 2 double-doubles this tournament for Mississippi State. And who else but Sabrina Ionescu for Oregon. The Ducks have reached the Elite Eight the last 2 seasons. It may take another triple-double from Ionescu to get the Ducks to Tampa. Well, there's only 1 and 2 seeds left. Jaron, how do you think the 2s fare against the 1s?
I think there are going to be 4 really good matchups starting today. Oregon and UConn are 2 really good number 2 seeds facing off against the number 1 seeds. My favorite matchup is Iowa tomorrow against Baylor, but today I like both UConn and Oregon. We'll see if those 1 seeds finally fall.
It's going to be a lot of fun to find out. Well, that's a wrap for Tourney Watch today. From all of us at the NCAA as well as our Ball State Sports Link production crew, thanks for watching. And remember to follow the entire tournament using hashtag NCAAW. Enjoy your Sunday and today's games.